meeting. I'm going to go ahead and call to order our meeting of November 8th here, 2016. We're going to try to make this as expeditious as possible so we can all move to go home and watch either Fox News or MSNBC, whichever is your brother. So with that call to order, I'd make or entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the Guthrie Regional Airport Board.
So
October 11th.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor? Say
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Motion carries. And on to discussion items. Item number 3, discussion of the airport manager's report and monthly financials. Take it, Siobhan.
Item 1, hangar development update. Letter B, hangar 32 Latham Investments, our new 8-unit T hangar. They broke ground November 30th, and the dirt work, footing and concrete have been poured, and they're just waiting for their building now. Letter B, hangar rental inquiries. Just wanted to let you all know that we have been receiving several calls a week, been referring them to Latham Investments and the other tenants that rent out hangars. Also, the director of, just want to let you know in regards to that too, director of flight operations for Chaparral Energy called, and then they came out to see our corporate hangar development area. He was a wealth of information for me. I exchanged contact information and asked what these types of businesses are looking for when they're located to an airport. So he's going to be a really good contact for us to stay in touch with. They're basically going around to airports gathering information, and then they're going to, he said he'd give a report back to his boss. So there was a couple of really insightful things that I gained from him. He said anytime I wanted to call him about anything as far as, you know, what they look for in locating to a new airport. So that was really good, and those kind of things I look forward to having and happening more often.
So are they interested in moving out here? Is that?
Yes, well, not us in particular, but like I said, they're going to several different airports and gathering this information. So he was asking me, they said a couple of first things they look at when they go to an airport, security. I said, I know that first gate's open, but let me tell you what we're doing. So I took him around, showed him, and that we're working on getting, we've got this first gate, we were in the motion constructing of getting that electricity to it and getting it automatic, securing it up, because I knew that. He said we're also looking to see what kind of services you can bring to us regarding FBO, fuel, any customer service related items. He said, but I'll be in touch. He said that, again, any time that I had any questions, he'd be more than happy to help out and guide us in the right direction. I was just, those are the kind of people I'm looking for to stay in touch with. So what I gathered from that conversation is that they are right now at Oklahoma City, Will Rogers World Airport, and he called me back later asking if we had turbine mechanics that worked on turbine, if we did that kind of maintenance. And I said no. Again, that gave me more information, knowing those are the kind of things that people, when they come here, I need to have an answer. No, but I do know somebody that will come out here to work on. A lot of those companies that move in here will have their own person who does that. But the person he has just happens to be somebody I know out at Max Westheimer Airport that goes mobile, if you will, mobile, and does that kind of engine work. So it's kind of neat to have that information and know moving forward that I need to make sure that I'm prepared to answer those questions.
What type
So
of
it was good. He had King Air, is one that they were talking about, was a King Air 350. So, and I'm not sure what other aircraft they have there. Letter C, Hangar 6A update. After many months of very little progress, the hangar door is being built. So really excited about that. Talked about the length of time it has taken for the tenant to complete the hangar. And from this point forward, it will be dealt on a case-by-case basis so that when the lease is signed, we won't, and there was a lot of things that happened and a lot of things that prevented this tenant from finishing his hangar. And I've said it before, taxiway was a problem. Then we had, there was, ice and snow at one point, and then we had a water line under there. So now we're all back on track and it's looking really good. But When I say a case-by-case basis, according to the property lease agreement, minimum standards, rules, and regulations, once a construction of a hangar started, you have 120 days to finish building it. Providing you don't have a taxiway being reconstructed, preventing you from getting in and out of your hangar and so forth. Does that make sense? Okay. Item 2, airport buildings, grounds, and equipment. Letter A, airport grounds. We're finally caught up, cleaning up a lot of the areas that have been neglected due to the unusual rainy season. All landscape equipment has been serviced. 2x2 hole in the floor of the maintenance building has been repaired. And that's been a safety hazard for quite some time. And it just costs a few materials to repair that, $17. Letter B, Fuel Farm Lake is now operational. It comes on when it gets dark and goes off when the sun comes up. So that's kind of cool. We haven't had that working for a long time. It really lights up the area over there at the fuel farm. Had a lot of comments from tenants. Item 3, airport services and projects. The letter A is an agenda item, so I'm going to move on to letter B, which is fuel farm credit card service. It was unavailable. I say was, it's unavailable during close of business between the hours of 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. So a notice was issued to notify the transient pilots and our local.
Could I ask why
So-
that is? Because somebody comes in at night, you know, that's, if they wanna stop off, it's kind of inconvenient if they can't.
It's absolutely, and that's why a notice was sent out. So the self-service fuel is back in service now. We no longer carry Phillips 66 branded fuel. Phillips 66 refused to service us because of non-compliance. Something to do with the filtration system on the Jet A fuel truck. That's all the information I have right now. I am looking into it. I'll get with Glenn to get, documentation and why that was going on and what's going on. And so what Glenn has done is he took him, he was on the phone day in and day out. They had the whole credit card system hooked up to Phillips 66. And it was kind of like having all your eggs in one basket. So the credit card service they provided and the fuel was all just cut off to us one day. And not sure if there was notice. I was told there was no notice given. But, like I said, I'm doing some research and I'm looking into that because I really think it's to our benefit to know what happened with that. But in the meantime, we have gone non-branded fuel and we are back up and back in service for self-serve fuel at night after hours.
Well, when
That
did
was
this
just
happen?
pardon?
When did this happen?
This happened, well, it went on it's been about 2 weeks.
It happened mid-October,
Yeah,
which is about the 14th of October.
so 2 weeks and we got it back on Monday. Yeah. They said, it takes 10 days from the time you switch your credit card service. So he had a couple people come in, pick the best option. And the biggest hangup we had was NetJets come in here a lot of time. We wanted to make sure that the credit card service that we have took their credit card. It's huge. So that was what took us a little bit of a hangup on that. But we're all good now. Any other questions on that? Okay. Item 4, other news. We have a full-time employee now who's sitting right behind me. His name's Toby Graves. I think most of you have met him. He started here October 17, 2016. He comes to us from the University of Max Westheimer Landscape Department. He's worked on the airports for the last 6 years and has a wealth of knowledge about the workings and operations of the landscapes, that too, landscape and airplanes. He has already been an incredible asset to the airport since he started, and I'm really excited about having someone of his expertise here to help me run the airport. It's gonna be it's already been a load lifted off my shoulders, so I'm just really excited to have him here, Toby. After our letter B, after hours emergencies, I've now activated a call forwarding for the airport. Anytime anybody calls here after hours, there is a sign posted out on this front door on the ramp side, and there's one in my office window, pretty bright, yellow, red letters that says after hours emergencies, call this number. It is the office phone number for the airport. That number will ring to my cell phone. That way, any emergencies happen, then we can deal with them as they come in. We had an aircraft go off the runway about a week ago, and the young man did everything he could in his ability. He called the phone number here for Crabtree Aircraft Rental. It was after hours, and a landing line had gone, his landing light went out, and when he was taxiing off, he thought where there was no taxiway lights, there's just a little, well, a space, he kind of went off and down in the ditch. No damage to the airplane, he was okay, everything was good, but he had nowhere to call except for the FBO number. Nobody answers that. He left a message. So until I found out what really went off, my first instinct was to say, hey, what do you think, and this, that. But after investigating, there was really nothing else you could do besides report it that direction. So now, when you call that after-hours emergency, it rings through to my cell phone number. It doesn't give my cell phone number out or anything like that, but it's just a really good way of always knowing that somebody's going to answer the phone and be here and available. So that will be very helpful. It's just one more step forward to getting the airport up to date with the standard of how most of your airports operate today. Letter B, OAC Revenue Stabilization Committee meeting is another discussion item. I'll just wait on that. And there is no letter C. If you guys have that on yours, it might just be on mine. It's not on yours?
No.
Good, okay, it's just a typo on my copy. Airport manager, moving on to item 5, airport manager activities. I'm making sure mine's yours. Yeah, I just had them lettered differently.
Yeah.
Isn't it silly? Okay. Chamber, again, I just like to let you guys know that I'm trying to just get out there and let the airport know, or let people know about the airport, and always keep our face out there, our name out there. Chamber coffee, networking, attendance. It's kind of a community outreach, saying here we are, come visit your airport. Continually attending city council workshops and meetings. Attend the OAOA quarterly membership meeting this last month and the conference planning committee meetings. Continual conference calls with OAOA. We've got one tomorrow. Getting ready for our big conference this next April, which will be held up at Stillwater. Letter E, attended the Oklahoma Business Aviation Association, and what that is it's a new organization in the state of Oklahoma that is an extension off of the National Business Aviation Association. So it's going to be really neat to get in on the bottom floor of that, and I am a member of that now. So they in turn will be very helpful to us in any capacity that we need as far as supporting us in our endeavors here at the airport. A lot of expertise there. Went to a meeting, met a lot of really neat people of all various diverse backgrounds, so that'll be interesting. Letter F, I've conducted airport tour of the Guthrie, for the Guthrie Book Club, a group of 15. Really neat community outreach for us to do that. Continue to try to do more and more of those. Went over to Spirit Wing. They offered us to come over there and see what they do, and then we went over to the Confederate Air Force hangar. They showed us the really cool A-26 they're doing. These kids, they were both young and older, and just really enjoyed themselves, so that was really cool. And the last thing on the activities that I attended was the Oklahoma Aeronautics Commission Revenue Stabilization Committee meeting, which I'll hold off. I'll just mention I went to that, and I'll hold off on that just for a few minutes and get back to that. So that's it for the manager's report. This time, if you note, there is not a financials on this particular document. what I try to do each time is go through and let you know how much different things cost. And this time, Kim Biggs, who is our interim city manager, she's been trying to do her job, plus everything else, and we've had a lot of capital improvement stuff come up with city council, city Guthrie council. You guys, they're what I'm trying to say. So with that, she's been overloaded and was not a top priority. I told her that you guys would be okay with that for one time. I pretty much have numbers for this other stuff I'm gonna show you here in a minute. So next time you'll have that. If you guys have any questions or anything, we have it answered for you.
All right, we'll move on to item 4, discussion update on the airport improvement non-grant funding items.
Okay, and that's my airport service projects. The airport improvements, just continually bringing this up to you guys and showing you what we're doing and what we've done so far. These are short-term capital improvement items update. Item 1, the large crack and seal project is completed. That's the one that set here in front of, we're located right here, and if you go around here, this big piece here, and then this stretch of pavement, the driveway right here. Originally, it was only gonna be a 90 by 90. Its actual size is 129 feet by 128 feet. That's twice the space that was quoted, and the cost still came in very close to the estimate. And it cost us $5,310.85. Really good deal. Tenants are real happy. You guys, when you get a chance, you need to go over there and look at it. It looks great. Item 2, airport parking lot project, received the 3rd estimate. So, in saying that, and moving forward, the first estimate, and I had told you the first estimate we got, and this one was from August 2016 for $32,000. Another one was from July 2016 for $28,000. You guys had already heard those. The last one came in at $59,000. So those are my 3 estimates. You'll be hearing more about that. I've been talking with the city, and I'm hoping that they might consider doing it since the costs are so high. So you guys keep your fingers crossed. They had a meeting and they might end up doing the work. So I'm waiting to hear back from them, what was discussed in their meeting. The big thing is manpower and being spread real thin, and are they gonna have the equipment to do it with? So I'll keep you guys posted on that. It's kinda neat. If they can do it for us, they'll probably be able to at least shave off a third of that. The lowest one, I would say. We'll see. I'll keep y'all posted on that. The gate opener for the main gate to the ramp, the boarding gate controller and keypad completed. Everything's completed. The OG&E power is hooked up. It was also reinforced for stability against the wind. That gate will hold up for quite some time. The gate controller on there is an industrial. So when we close that up permanently to secure our airport, to draw in the larger, the corporate aircraft when they sit out on the ramp or in their hangars, we will have it secured. That gate code will be announced and sent out to all the tenants. Once I get signs on that, I'm keeping cones around it now to get everybody used to the idea of having a keypad there in the middle of the parking lot. Appears to be in the middle of the parking lot. Once we get the parking lot striping and seal coat and all that done, then you'll notice there'll be spaces next to that keypad, and you'll have to drive around the keypad this direction. You'll go towards the gate and drive around it that way. You'll notice the cones out there in front of the fence. Nobody's been parking there anymore, opening up the space. It's just gonna be really good having it, with that industrial size gate controller. It'll allow that gate to be open and closed and not have a whole lot of trouble with the constant use of that, because it will be used a lot. We'll close down the other gate too. Still have access. What I mean, we'll just close it up, button up, try to get a little bit more secure on the airport. And again, that'll be a slow, gradual process. Get everybody used to the idea. Item 4, the reel on the self-service fuel pump was repaired for approximately $721. I haven't got the final bill, but really, it's about, I think I estimate about $700 what we put away for that on our small improvements. So pretty excited about that. Had a lot of tenants say they were all happy. They can just pull out on that and it just retracts right back in. Item 5, our airport work vehicle and airport golf cart update. I did put that on there. How about that? Did I bring the numbers in? Give me 1 second. I did, I left it in on the desk. Okay, that came to about $8,500. It's gonna be a Kubota. The reason why we went with the Kubota, our golf cart died, and on the capital improvement list, we agreed that the airport needed some kind of a all-terrain vehicle to get around to different areas of the airport. A big thing I'd like to eventually be able to do is have a little path, maybe a 5-foot wide path next to the fence, so it's easy access. We need to keep all of our gates clear of debris and areas in case we have any kind of emergency. That little vehicle will allow us to do that. We'll not only use it for that, but we'll be using it for landscape heavily. And we looked at the Gator with John Deere. It was too big, I couldn't fit it into my maintenance building. And then looked at a golf cart conversion, but it wasn't 4-wheel drive, and I was just a little leery of having something like that. I'd have to buy these big, the tires, and I just didn't know if you'd get up the hills. They said that it would and it shouldn't have any problem, but when comparing everything, another thing about the Kubota is that Toby, he's got experience in working on those. That's all they've been working on, that's all they had over the place that he just came from, so I thought that was really leaning me more towards that. The size of the Kubota, 72 inches high. My door is 76, be perfect. We'll have a beacon on the top, but it's not gonna be on the top, it's gonna be, I'll have it extended out from the front of the row bar. The vehicle will have a windshield on it and a roof on it, a 2-seater, little lift bed dump truck in the back. You guys will get to see it the next time. Got a requisition and a purchase order for that just before this meeting, so we'll be purchasing that within the next week or in the next couple days, time providing. But the biggest thing was the size of it, I think, more than anything. And so most of the money will come from that upfront funding that we got, and then probably about $2,000 is going to come out of the airport's budget, and I've already budgeted for that, so we're good there. Letter B, fuel farm credit card service. We already went over that. So I'm through with the airport services and projects.
I just want to just segue into the revenue stabilization committee meeting.
Okay, and then just a real brief thing. We'll keep you up to date as we go, but this is really huge. You guys need to always be thinking about this and how it'll affect you individually, how it'll affect, I think it affects, a little over, 7,700 pilots there are in the state of Oklahoma. This will affect more than anybody else. The Oklahoma Aeronautics Commission Revenue Stabilization Committee meeting, it's regarding the estimated cost of needs in the Oklahoma airport system for the next 20 years and the estimated revenues to address such needs. Items addressed at the meeting included the aircraft fuel tax, aircraft excise tax exemption, and the aircraft registration fees. It was open to the public for comment, which is not normal procedures. In other words, it's open to the public, but not for comments at that time. But Director Byrd asked the commission if they wouldn't mind, or the committee, actually it's commissioners on the committee, if they wouldn't mind if the public, because there were so many in attendance, if they stood up and talked. So it was all agreed upon. Went well. I encourage you all, if you get the opportunity to go. Board members Guy and Balstiger also attended with me. And I don't know if they want to say a few words about that or give a little summary of what was discussed. I will be keeping
You're
on
first.
top of this.
Dick, you're first.
Oh, well, Slot did a great job on letting you know what happened there. I just have, stemming from that meeting, are you or is Carrie, either one of you, a Chamber of Commerce member, Joe?
Well,
In Guthrie?
our company is, yeah.
Okay.
So,
The state chamber is putting the OAC on their legislative agenda.
okay.
And that legislative agenda will probably hit the state, based on these recommendations. One of them I know that's made on their agenda right now is the OAC. The state is taking the position, state chamber is taking the position that they don't want to combine the OAC and the Oklahoma Department of Transportation.
Right.
So now there's one other item that may make their agenda that will affect the OAC. There are just two items. So if you see that come up, they'll ask you if you have a position or statement, if your company will, so be good to respond to that.
Well,
And that came from this, so.
well, and the city of Guthrie is also a chamber member as well, so maybe you can maybe address it over to the city as well, and be on the lookout.
Yeah, it's important to keep that up in front.
Because I know the city of Edmond, I'm sure they're on their chamber.
Mhm.
Thank you.
So, John, that's all I have.
Well, real quickly, it was very interesting meeting, and this is the committee meeting. And there were 3 items that the very eloquent Victor Bird, who's the aviation director from Oklahoma, made the presentation. And there were just 3, and out of the 3, 2 passes to go to full aviation, Oklahoma Aviation Council. The one that did not pass, that in my mind, Vic was really after, and I think his intentions were good, and that's the aircraft excise exemption. And the reason being, quite frankly, he wanted to increase, to make the excise tax 50% to actual charter work, and 50%, the other 50% would be charged regular taxes, regular excise taxes. But to govern the two from a standpoint really opens a bag of worms. And I know from experience that the excise tax on fuel has not been appropriately used in the past. Customers that I've had in the past that were corporate dealers, corporate operators, that got an exemption, not 125 operators, but the 135 operators, got an exemption, and basically they, for the most part, most of them manage the aircraft. It's not their airplanes. And, I mean, you all know that, I'm preaching to the choir. But the owner of that aircraft, in turn, not everybody, I know that, but the majority of the people that I came in contact with use that airplane personally. And so consequently, they didn't have to pay the fuel excise tax. And that money goes to the state. Now, how do you govern that? That's a real problem that somebody's going to have to take up if this is pursued. And there probably is ways to check that, but it's going to add people to make sure it comes in compliance, and to continually to watch that. And this has been going on for years, and I don't know how you can make a differentiation in that, and be able to do it properly. It just seems like it's a big ball of wax. But that did not pass, and I know that the state of Oklahoma is going to try and come up with some way, and I'm assuming that in the future this is going to come back up. But the reason that it didn't pass is because there was no way to control it, there's no way to govern it. The other two things are going to the full aviation board, and then if they are passed there, then they'll go to legislation. And so it's a long process on, basically on everything as far as I can tell. But it brings to attention, and the ability to raise some money that the state needs to operate the airports is in this. And
These
so-
are the only three sources of revenue
Yeah.
that the state gets to improve our airports.
One thing that took place here a while, years back, when I first got involved in the Oklahoma area, there was what was passed, and Guthrie benefited from it. It was called the dedicated excise tax. And the major corporations that bought an airplane, they could say where they wanted that money to go. And I wasn't the responsible for getting it, but the aviation director not Avion, Devon, was a member of NBAA and happened to be a friend of mine. And so pushing that a little bit, that they would be able to utilize in case of an emergency, and be able to utilize the Guthrie Airport, because I pointed out to them that we just increased the airport and we put a security fence up. And so consequently, they gave, and I don't know the exact, I can't remember the amount, but it seemed like it's about $350,000 that Guthrie received from that. So maybe a dedicated, I mean, I don't know, I'm not a pencil pusher or anything, but there's got to be some way that the excise tax that's raised can be given to the airports, and that all the airports will be able to utilize. And the dedicated tax that they had, Guthrie could not come back and get what basically could be allocated to them in the first. They couldn't double dip, so to speak. But it was a way to know what we were doing, know the direction we were going, and have the resources and the finance to do it. So I don't know if that could be taken up again or not. I think the legislation didn't like it. I wasn't involved after, and I think it's probably been, what, 7 years, 6 years, something like that, since there hasn't been a dedicated tax to it.
It's been about 7. The last one we got was from Bob Howard.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a couple of those.
Yeah.
So that was pretty
So
sweet.
It's pretty sweet, wasn't it? You betcha.
I'll keep you guys up to date on what's going on with that. And as we have meetings like that, try to invite as many board members as I can. As a collective, it'd be good, so that's about it
All
for
right,
that.
well, moving on, we'll make it quick. Stan, you got anything tonight?
Well,
Comments?
just want to welcome Toby officially and compliment Shalon on all the hard work she's been putting on for this airport, so.
A lot of foresight. Shalon, I think you're doing a great job. And Toby, we're glad to have you aboard. And
Thank you.
will help everybody, I think. And if any of us can be of assistance to you, give us a holler.
Ditto. I met Toby the first day he was here. Fortunately, he had a key to get into stuff, and I thought, that's our man.
Echo everything that's been said. Toby, good to have you on board. Thank you. Keep Shalon out of trouble.
And I'll say the same thing, Toby, even though your beard's better than mine. I appreciate you being with us, and I look forward to many years with you, and thank you to each and one of you taking the time out of your evenings. I know sometimes it's a pain, but I appreciate your efforts, and thanks to the city, Edmund being here tonight, we appreciate you guys once again. So with that.
Is it proper for me to address the board?
Sure.
Okay, if I could, we
Is
are,
is it regarding an agenda item?
No.
Okay. Okay, I don't know if we needed to do that or not.
Yeah, it's not
That's,
technical.
you know more about it than I do. So-
Go ahead and address the board. If
Okay.
it's something that we can, if it's not on an agenda item.
it's
we can't
nothing to
go
act
with it.
on, well,
Okay.
not,
Yeah,
as a
so
board,
go
it's
ahead.
just-
You can present it.
we're firing off the Santa fly-in again this year. Mr. Guy, are you going to work with the elementary school again this year?
Yeah, I'd be glad to, sure.
If you wanna do that, we'd love to have it done.
Mhm.
Just let us know what you need, as far as the number of slots or whatever.
Okay,
to-
great.
To put in for the auction. They did an auction last year where the kids who won it, they got to sit inside the fence and lined them up and got first to sit with Santa and all that stuff, so it was the other thing. Mr. Ayers, the other thing I told you last year I was gonna be back here. Is it gonna be possible to get the stagger wing brought out for pictures this year?
Let me check, what date is it? Are
It's
you-
the 17th, it's Saturday the 17th.
Okay.
We're not looking to have Santa fly in on it, we just like it brought over
Okay.
and static display like we did with my plane last year. And we'll set a chair up kinda in front of it so that it's the backdrop for the kids sitting on Santa's lap.
I think we can probably work that in. So.
Okay, yeah, if it was possible to bring it over and have, if also be possible, somebody, yourself or somebody who's responsible for it would be there to kind of watch over it
Yeah,
for
yeah,
us.
yeah.
We're gonna do that, we've got a Santa lined up, we've got candy canes lined up. We're all going, haven't done hot chocolate, you've got the hot chocolate, okay, we got the hot chocolate lined up. We're going full bore for the 17th, Saturday the 17th, so, just trying to get everything going tonight's the first meeting of
What's
that.
the time frame? You know,
It's gonna be 1 to 3.
1 to 3 again?
Yeah.
So
for-
it's no official business, but it's just
No, I appreciate
getting
it.
this going.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
you bet.
I do have one other thing. It was just brought to my attention this afternoon that Gail Reagan has got some serious health issues and keeping in your prayers. and thoughts.
Thank you, Joe.
Call them
Appreciate
and say hi.
that. Well, thank you guys. Well, thank you once again and appreciate everybody. And